today is a day of birth and rebirth in a sense of the people of the erstwhile state of Andhra Pradesh. KCR was sworn in as the new Chief Minister of a new state of Telangana amidst pomp and celebrations. His electoral victory, the outcome of the creation of a new state after a decades-long agitation that began at independence. Uma Sudhir reports.
The build-up to the big day began on Sunday evening when lakhs spilled onto the roads across Telangana to welcome the midnight hour when Telangana would be born.
My dream! It's 60 years of dream of Telangana!
Hours after the birth of India's 29th state, Telangana Rashtra Samiti leader K. Chandrasekhar Rao took oath as the first Chief Minister of Telangana.
సమగ్రతను కాపాడతానని తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్ర ముఖ్యమంత్రిగా
11 cabinet ministers were sworn in along with KCR. Among them, KCR's son K.T. Ramarao and his nephew Harish Rao. 3 members of your family are in the cabinet.
Most definitely, that is an accusation, and we'll respond to it with our performance and efficiency.
KCR has said he would have 2 deputy chief ministers, one from the minority community and another a Dalit. In his first address to the people of Telangana after taking over as chief minister, KCR promised Hyderabad would become a world-class city and welcoming to all.
సార్ ఏవైతే చేస్తా అనుకున్నాడో కంపల్సరీ చేస్తారని మాకు నమ్మకం ఉంది. అందుకే మేము ఏం అడగదలుచుకోలేదు మేడం.
పిల్లలందరికీ జాబ్స్ వస్తాయని అనుకుంటున్నాం మేడం. మాకు తెలంగాణ వచ్చింది కాబట్టి మాకు జాబ్స్ అన్ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ ప్రాబ్లం చాలా ఉంది.
Telangana starts off with an advantage. It is revenue surplus as it has the prized Hyderabad in its kitty. But there are huge hopes riding on the Telangana dream. Jobs for everyone, water for irrigation, farm loan waiver and many welfare schemes. That is why immediately after stepping into the Telangana Secretariat on his first day in office, KCR chose to reassure employees and others that good days are ahead.
టీఆర్ఎస్ ప్రభుత్వం 100% ఎంప్లాయీ ఫ్రెండ్లీ స్నేహశీల స్వభావం కలిగి ఉంటుందని ఈ సందర్భంగా మనం చేస్తా ఉన్నా.
The irony is that KCR is in power, but the state will be power deficit from day one and will have to purchase power to retain industry and attract new investment. That could cost several thousand crore rupees.
The biggest challenge for the TRS government in Telangana is going to be making the transition from a party of agitations to a party that can now give governance and also maintain a fine balance between a government that can protect the interests of the Telangana people while also being inclusive and not driving away business and industrial interests. In Hyderabad with camera person Nagaraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
Well, celebrations in Telangana, but uncertainty and unrest have now migrated from the newborn Telangana to Seema Andhra, with Chandrababu Naidu not attending KCR's swearing-in ceremony. The people of Seema Andhra ask, how can the 2 chief ministers work together to share Hyderabad's revenue? The focus now shifts to what the road ahead is for a state which still doesn't know what its new capital city will be.
Auto driver Venkatesh sees hundreds of new faces each day. At the busy Tirupati bus stand, it appears as if it's any other day. But he knew when he woke up that the state he lived in for 30 years has a new face too. Andhra Pradesh is now 10 districts less and Hyderabad is lost. The 40-year-old recollects he earned his first income in the Nizam city when he drove some tourists in a friend's auto rickshaw to the Grand Charminar.
మా బ్రతికే ఏమిటి ఎక్కడ రాజధాని పెడతారు మేము ఎట్లా డెవలప్మెంట్ కావాలి.
The focus now shifts to what will be the new capital of Seema Andhra. With the people's mandate, Chandrababu Naidu, the TDP chief, is all set to take oath as chief minister on the 8th of June in Mangalgiri near Vijayawada, which is increasingly appearing to be the new capital. But the sentiment across the coast and the Rayalaseema region, it seems, is that let there be more than one capital. With Hyderabad lost, people believe that it's better for smaller investments into different cities than a huge investment into one capital city.
The formation day of Telangana. Yesterday night I didn't sleep. I was watching the 12 o'clock at night when the state is going to form. I'm not watching for fun. I'm not watching for happiness. But my heart is broken.
Top businessmen and industry experts across Seemandhra have prepared what they call the Development Manifesto for the new government taking charge of Seemandhra. It recommends Visakhapatnam, a developed coastal city with accessibility to the port, could well be made the manufacturing hub to attract investors. Vijayawada and Guntur, centrally located among the coastal districts, could be the next political epicenter, a commercial chock-a-block that could add to its circumference Eluru, Mangalgiri, Tenali towns. Kurnool in Rayalaseema, a backward region, could be home to the new High Court. Temple town Tirupati, which is sandwiched between Chennai and Bangalore cities, could well prove to be an alternative for IT companies to set up shop.
This is centrally located to the Chennai and the Bangalore, and this is a great corridor is here also. This coastal corridor is also there. It's already education hub.
Land prices in Vijayawada and Guntur have shot up by up to 60% since January this year. From Nellore to Chittur, there is up to 20% increase in real estate prices. Radhika Iyer with DM Kumar in Seemandhra, NDTV.
Well, as we said, the questions tonight is what is on the road ahead. Now, joining us from Hyderabad, Mr. Abid Rasool Khan, of course, still with us in our studios in Hyderabad. Mr. Vishweshwar Reddy from the TRS and Mr. Kesineni Srinivas, the Vijayawada MP from the TDP, joining us as well. And also in our studios, joining us now, of course, infamously known as the pepper spray MP, Mr. Lagrapati Rajgopal, ex-Congress. Thanks very much, all of you. I think the question of the evening really goes to the TRS and Mr. Vishweshwar Reddy, to you. First of all, congratulations. You all must be celebrating the birth of a new state. Everyone has sent their congratulatory messages. Chandrababu Naidu not present at that swearing-in ceremony, and the concerns of the people of Seemandhra really looming large, and what this split means for them going forward. How will you address those?
Well, sorry, question is to me?
Yes, Mr. Reddy.
Yeah. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate all Indians. Today is a great day. It's the birth of the 29th state of Telangana in India. And what's more important is, you know, there were apprehensions that it will end up with great instability, not only for the region but for the country. What's happening, the whole country is going to break up into pieces. On the contrary, the country is stronger than ever before. We have stable government in the center, stable government in Telangana, and we are extremely happy that there's a stable government in Andhra Pradesh, the residual Andhra Pradesh too. So I think there's something to look forward. It's a great opportunity for both the residual Andhra Pradesh state and for the Telangana state to develop. There is no need for apprehensions, and the elections really prove that.
Right, Mr. Reddy, thanks for those comments. Let's take this across to Kesineni Srinivas as well, sir. We've heard statements from the TRS chief KCR talking about how the people of coastal Andhra, for example, should leave Hyderabad, go back to their own domiciles, and comments to that nature which have created alarm. Now, those have also been part of the reason the TDP has done so well in Seemandhra, looking at the record of development and hopefully trying to emulate that in a new state. Mr. Srinivas?
Yes, actually, frankly speaking, we are all a part of Indian Union, and we have the right to live in any part of the country. Today, first of all, I have to congratulate the Telangana people for getting Telangana, which is the 60-year dream of Telangana people. Today, whatever happened has happened. 60 years of fight for the separation of the state has happened. Today, TRS and Mr. KCR became the Chief Minister of the Telangana, and people of Andhra Pradesh, residual Andhra Pradesh, the 13 districts people, has given a clear verdict electing Telangana Party and Chandrababu Naidu as the CM of the Andhra Pradesh.
So, Mr. Srinivas, why didn't Chandrababu Naidu attend the swearing-in ceremony?
See, there is a difference between intimation and invitation. See, Chandrababu Naidu was only intimated and not invited. He was the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh for 9 years, and he was the person who was responsible for all the development of Hyderabad, and he is the one who had put Hyderabad in the international map. See, all this development of this IT hub, creation of these jobs, pharma and everything, the total Hyderabad development has been done by Chandrababu Naidu. And all this wealth for the state has been created by Chandrababu Naidu.
Right.
Today, he has been insulted by KCR, who did not invite him personally, and it was just an intimation for the swearing-in ceremony. That's why Chandrababu Naidu didn't go there. If he was invited properly, Chandrababu Naidu would have definitely
insulted by KCR. Mr. Reddy, do you agree with that
indeed,
statement? Do you think that this bodes well for cooperation between two new states?
Let me rephrase that. I think an invitation is, we are pleased to invite you as an invitation. Do attend this at so and so date is an intimation. Clearly an invitation was sent in the proper manner befitting a neighborly chief minister. So also several chief ministers of other states were invited. Some of them for whatever reasons chose not to come. Well, this is a happy occasion for us. I don't want to contradict too much. For a person from a neighboring state to say that he came and developed is a little bit of over-exaggeration. The same person told I bought computers to India and Andhra Pradesh. The same person told I got cell phones and cell phone technologies. I think it's going a little too far. Hyderabad was a well-developed capital ages before we emerged.
Okay, well, let's just bring that to our two national parties here as well, the Congress and the BJP. The Congress, to you first, Mr. Abid Rasool Khan, a bad gamble. The Congress thought it would pay off by actually announcing the split shortly before the elections. You've lost almost everything in both states.
Maya, first of all, I would like to congratulate Mr. KCR and his team of ministers, as well as all the citizens, and my friend Mr. Vishweshwar Reddy, who has also become a member of parliament. The second part of it is that your assumption that it was a gamble, it was never so. Our party was committed to the reorganization. It was mentioned in our 2004 manifesto. Again, it was repeated in the 2009 manifesto. And a resolution was passed in the assembly under Rashekar Reddy for this purpose.
Right.
The point here is, it was a very, very elaborate exercise that was taken up by the central government then, UPA 2, to know the views and come to a solution which will be acceptable to the people of Telangana as well as Seema Andhra. This exercise, by way of appointment of a commission, then by way of talking to the people and all the stakeholders, took a lot of time, and unfortunately the thing could materialize in parliament just before the elections, and this message did not reach the people. But I am not complaining. Today the verdict has come. We are accepting it with humility. We are accepting with great joy that Telangana has been formed, and we are committed to work for it.
Okay.
And then secondly, I would like to assure Mr.
Yeah, let's just bring that to Nalin Kohli as well. Nalin, we know that Prime Minister Modi, in part of his campaign, went to Seema Andhra, went to Tirupati, went to Vijayawada, went to several places that he handpicked in that alliance with the TDP, and made a promise that he would back any development schemes and pump in money into this new state, because you know the Hyderabad cash cow has actually gone to Telangana. At least that's what the argument has been. But today we've also had the Prime Minister talk about any assistance that the new state might require going to it. You know, both sort of banking on sort of the goodwill of people in both states right now. The TDP and the BJP went into an alliance on the premise that the money would go from the centre to a new state of Seema Andhra.
I think we need to look at it from 3 or 4 perspectives, Maya. The first is, Modi ji is the Prime Minister of India.
Right.
And he's the Prime Minister for not only 125 crore people, but he's for every state. And you can't expect a bipartisan attitude when we ourselves are saying in our manifesto we need to build a team between the states in this. Certainly that there are concerns because of the Hyderabad, and it was a tricky situation. We wish it had not been so, because the creation of states should be a celebration from both sides. And perhaps it may have been possible, because we've seen it in the past, whether it's Jharkhand or Uttarakhand and even Chhattisgarh. Telangana has been a long pending demand in the country. There's been a long movement behind it. So therefore, I think what's needed today is to see that, you know, there is no sense of alienation on either side.
Right.
And both the states must prosper, because after all, it's the prosperity of Indians.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It's only a point who's on one side of, you know, a state border. At the end of the day, everyone qualifies as equal Indians.
Right. You make that point about how everybody should sort of prosper as a result of this, that it should be a celebration for both sides, yet it clearly is not today for one side of that new border that's been created. Lagrapati Rajgopal, you made your protest on this issue of bifurcation very vocal, very clear in Parliament, in the floor of the House. Today, what are you thinking as you see these celebrations in Hyderabad as KCR is sworn in?
So now we have 2 Telugu states in India. So we have to live with the fact and the reality that we have 2 states, all are Telugu people, and we need to ensure that the wounds and the scars are healed. So we can't break up the past emotions, the past arguments, or the past sentiments. We need to ensure that there is peace and prosperity on both the sides. The 2 Telugu states, all of us are first Indians, then Telugus, and then we belong to respective districts or respective states. So I think it's time that all of us need to come together, even though we're divided geographically, but we need to live as Indians, as one. And we need to share better bond and relationship.
Let's take that back to Vishweshwar Reddy as well. Mr. Reddy, one of the things, I mean, the division is done, the split is now formalized as well by the swearing in today. You're talking about forming new state capitals and infrastructure, but what about the psychological, cultural schism? We've seen so much talk about fear amongst the sort of coastal Andhra residents in Hyderabad, what's going to happen to them, business interests that have come in from coastal Andhra into the Telangana region, what happens to those? How do you ensure all of those remain intact? What is the TRS's plan?
Maya, one thing is for sure. Yesterday there was great celebrations here in Hyderabad, and the celebrations continued today. And when the swearing in of Chandrababu Naidu happens, on that day as well, Vijayawada is going to burst into celebrations, Visakhapatnam is going to burst into celebrations, Tirupati is going to burst into celebration. So this notion that all Andhras are unhappy is absolutely wrong. A significant portion of the Andhra people from Andhra region and Rayalaseema people are going to celebrate, they are going to be happy. The people who are concerned are the persons who got illegal jobs here or are having some legal issues in Telangana. Otherwise, I do believe that the people in both the states are happy and will be happy, and they'll be happily cooperating and do business with each other.
Do you think that the bifurcation agreement that was actually drawn up, there are loopholes and gaps in those that are going to be sort of sources of dispute going forward?
Sure, there are 2 or 3. I may not want to call it loopholes, but yes, issues that are not closed. One of them, I think the significant one from my perspective, is a common water board. I think we need to have our respective water boards. It's not just the common capital, common water boards, common entrance exam, which wherein students from Andhra can get admissions in Hyderabad, but not vice versa. And of course, this issue of Polavaram, it has to be settled amicably. But I think all this with the support from BJP, which is also looking for amicable settlement, and Modi ji is the Prime Minister not only for Andhra but also for Telangana, regardless of which political party they are allied with. So we look forward for amicable settlements of these issues. But yes, these are not closed issues.